What do you think, son? You ready to get those babies out of you? Baby or babies? Wide load. Beep, 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 beep. That funny? Maybe someday. Let's see the comedy in it. She is ready to pop. No good talk. You can't feel that great just laying on your udder like that, but I guess you don't have a choice. Hey guys, I'm Kaylyn. Welcome back to Fable Hill Farm. This is a very exciting video for me to do because it means that we are finally going to have our first ever baby goats on the ground here very soon. And today I'm going to be showing you guys what is in my kidding kit. And this lovely girl right here behind me, Sunny, is 3 days away from kidding watch beginning. 3 days from day 140, and Nigerian Dwarf goats, which is what kind of goats I have. Their due date, their gestation is day 145 or 145 days. However, Nigerian Dwarfs can kid anywhere between day 140 and day 150. So there's a 5-day window on either end from that due date itself that is considered normal for them. Here is the woman of the hour. This is Kaylyn Ridge Fire Dancer, aka Sunny. Sunny will be a first freshener, meaning this will be the first time she's ever had babies. And as I said, she is 3 days away from kidding watch beginning. And you can see nice little udder bump going here. Excited to see her freshen. Her kids have definitely seemed to drop. Well, kid or kids. She could have a single, possibly twins. We did ultrasound her and we saw one, possibly two kids. So I would not be surprised if she's got a big single buck in there. But I'm hoping she has twins, as that'll just be better overall. Let's see if she'll get a look here. That pretty little udder she's got developing. And her coat is starting to look really rough. Goats, before they kid, or in periods of high stress, get a parasite bloom, meaning a higher explosion of parasites in their system, and she's definitely got that going on right now. And she's just in the final stages of pregnancy, and the kids are taking so many nutrients away from her, and it's hard on a doe's body. And she is just a doe that's more prone to parasite issues to begin with. She's just a bit more immunologically challenged, so to speak. And so I did go ahead and give her some Power Punch today at the recommendation of my mentor. And I've got all my wormers on hand, ready for after she kids, so that we can address the parasite bloom with her. I will be using chemical dewormers post kidding, just because I really need to knock out what parasite she's got going on. Even though I've been using some preventative options with her, I just gave her some pumpkin seeds today with the full moon, and I'll give her some more tomorrow as well. There are different things that I've done. I'm using oregano oil with her. My mentor suggested going daily now with the oregano oil, so I'm going to do that. And I'm not overly concerned, but she definitely is starting to look a little rough, and I'm thinking that she is going to really need to be dewormed ASAP post kidding. So that's the plan, and she will be dewormed appropriately using several different classes of chemical dewormers, and then I'll get her back on a really strong herbal regimen as well. So if I bring you guys in the barn, get my light on. This is our goat barn, and if you haven't seen it in previous videos, I'll link some of those down below. We have a 3-stall barn, and I went ahead a while ago and pulled out this stall divider here so that I could have one large stall, and this will be our kidding stall. And I'm going to go in on this angle. Got all fresh shavings down in here, and I'm going to keep all the goats out of it until I'm ready to stall Sunny, and that way it stays nice and clean and ready for her for labor and delivery. So you got a hay feeder, you got a very small water bucket. Don't want to risk any kids getting dropped in buckets and drowning. Heard horror stories. She's got a feeder here for pellets if need be. And then this box is my kidding box, which I had purchased initially as my show box because it has a spot to lock. But then I realized this would also be a great kidding box during this time of year because it's very sturdy and I can sit on it and use it as a bench. So that's why I made it into my kidding box, and I'll get you guys set up here in a second so I can show you all the goodies that are in here. So before I actually get into what's in the box, I'm going to show you guys a few things that aren't in the box because they can't fit or they're already set up. One thing is a baby monitor, and I've got the other one in the house next to the bed so that way I can hear her pushing. I have heard that recommended, and I think that that is the logical thing to have. So I've got the baby monitor. I've also got, and this is buried under here, but this is a electro kennel. It's called a whelping pad, and I'm gonna have to run a power strip here to this outlet, which the electric in this barn isn't great. This was used as a shed, not a barn, but it will work for the time being, and probably won't need this time of year, but it is something in an emergency that I would rather have than not have, and that is to help them to regulate body temperature for kids if you have a weak kid, or even if we get a cold snap, which, hey, we live in Michigan, so definitely possible, to help the babies to stay warm. In this time of year, I'm using that in lieu of a heat lamp. So I've got that, and then right here, I've got, this is actually an infant scale, and this is my sister-in-law's, and she let me borrow this when my daughter was born and said I could hold on to it to weigh baby goats until she needs it back. So this is a scale, and this is a really nice high-end like midwife scale, and so I'll be using this to weigh the kids when they're born so I can get an accurate birth weight on them. Not something that's a necessity, but cool to have. There are other types of scales you can use, but this is one that's going to work great for kids because it's made for babies, and kids and babies weigh similarly. And last but not least, if you can see right there, I've got a barn camera set up. So I can go on my phone and I can see the kidding stall. So that works well out here, and I will be able to keep a good eye on her. And I just realized from looking at this that I'm going to want to move this box because I don't want to block that area. I wouldn't be able to see her if she's laying right there. Before I forget, a couple things that I don't have here to show you, but I do feel like are noteworthy. Red raspberry leaf, and that's a loose leaf herb. That is a great herb not only for goats but for humans as far as preparing the body for labor and delivery. I've been giving Sunny red raspberry leaf every day, once daily with her feed, her alfalfa pellets, and I'm going to be making her a red raspberry tea once she is getting closer to that point and she's in labor so that she has that to drink. And that's something that I just always stock in my own home for us, but, well, for me, it's really a female herb, but I also keep it in the barn for the goats. So red raspberry leaf, and then something I don't have to show you because it's not here yet, and I realized last minute it was the last thing I needed for my kidding kit, is OB lube. So I ordered a big jug of veterinary use OB lube, and so I'll have that in a worst case scenario if I need to go in. First things first, lots of clean towels. I probably have an excessive amount of towels in here. given the fact that she likely only has a single, but I figured I don't need them, but this box is big and can hold them, so I've got a big stack of fresh towels in here. I've also got a roll of paper towels because I heard that that was something that's really nice to have. I've got a blow dryer if I need to quickly dry off any kids. Again, we live in West Michigan. We are still getting fluctuating temperatures that are pretty extreme. Today it was, I think our high was 75 degrees Fahrenheit, and yesterday it was much, much colder, and it could get, you know, especially if she kids at night or if it's raining, there could be a significant difference in temperature, and it could be too cold for the kids, you know, if they're wet. So I wanted to have the blow dryer just in case I need it. I don't think I'll need it, but you never know. Another item is a kid puller. This is referred to as a lamb and kid puller, and I already went ahead and sterilized this in my dishwasher. Now the instructions said to pour boiling water through it and over it. The reason I went ahead and used my dishwasher is because, well, typically dishwashers sterilize things, but our dishwasher is hooked up to our outdoor wood stove, and our water is so unbelievably hot, burn your skin off. So I knew that that would be more than enough to sterilize it. And then I went ahead and put it in this turkey shrink wrap bag and rubber banded the top of it, so that way it would keep it sterile. So this entire portion of this item is not going to go all the way in the dough. So this outside portion obviously isn't sterile because it's sitting out here, but the rest of it is. So got that. I've got a couple different size bottles here for if I need to bottle feed any kids. And then in this little handy dandy baggie here, I've got some different things. Let's see, I'll get these towels out of my way. That's maybe an excessive amount of towels, who knows. All right, so let's see, what do we got in here? We've got, I've got these are plastic shot glasses for filling with iodine to dip the navels. And I've got here bulb syringes for cleaning out the air passages to get that initial mucus out. I've got some different types of nipples for those bottles. So I've got these rubber lamb nipples. I've got these guys which go on like breast milk storage vials, if you're familiar with those, moms, that's what this is from. I've also got the Pritchard nipple, which is a standard nipple that goes on those bottles there. And then I've got another bulb syringe if I was in a situation of, you know, needing help and having multiple kids, and, you know, then I have those. I've got some gloves in here. I've got a couple different syringes for if I had to, you know, give something orally, whether to the doe who's kidding or to the kid itself. I'll try to keep all this tidy. Looks like I need to get my betadine handy. I thought I had a bottle in here. Guess I already put it in my cabinet. So another item in here is going to be selenium and vitamin E gel. This is specifically for goats, and if you have a kid that's born with weak legs or seems unsteady on their legs, usually selenium is what's recommended. Cherry's coming in here to talk to me. So I've got that. Though I don't anticipate Sunny's kids being selenium deficient, I have been giving her selenium periodically throughout this entire gestation. So it would be highly unlikely that her kids are selenium deficient, but you never know, and I've got it on hand if I need it. I've also got calcium gluconate, And this is something that my goat mentor recommended to me that was an absolute must in her kidding kit. And we were actually just discussing it today. And she told me whenever she's got a doe who either loses her ligaments or starts really actively pawing at the ground, she'll go ahead and give them a dose of the calcium gluconate, and then again when they're finished kidding before the placenta, and that helps to bring on stronger contractions, helps them pass the placenta, and just really keeps things moving. So calcium gluconate. I've also got a sharp pair of scissors, which I'll rub down with an alcohol pad if I need to use them to cut the umbilical cord. I've got a stethoscope, which you don't have to have, but I just happen to have purchased one if I need to listen to any kids' lungs or anything like that. I've also got some packages of Bounce Back, which is an electrolyte solution that I'll add to her water. I've got a weak kid syringe. If you have a kid who, you know, is not able to get colostrum in them and you need to get it in them right away and you can't get them to nurse, or you couldn't get them to take a bottle, or they don't have a suck reflex, maybe because they were underdeveloped or they're just too weak, then that would be you know, the only way to get that in them. You do have to be really careful with goats so you don't actually drown them or get fluid in the lungs. So I know that's something that you really need to do research on before using is a weak kid syringe. And it looks like last but not least, what I've got in here is this Power Punch, which I mentioned previously. I gave to Sunny earlier today, and this is just a high potency nutrient and energy drench for goats. And this has lots of vitamins and minerals and things in it, so I have this so I can administer this if needed following kidding or during labor if she seems to be struggling. Power Punch. Another thing that's not in here, which I realize I need to go grab, is another bottle of betadine, so I have that handy. And then I've got, you know, all the towels and everything, so I think I'm all set for kidding. I'm really excited but nervous. You know, this is my first ever kidding, my first ever doe to give birth, and I'm super excited. I can't wait to share the babies with you, babies with you guys. I am hopeful I'll be able to film it. I'll be super disappointed if I miss it, but I do have the luxury of being a stay-at-home mom. Luxury, haha. There are definitely a lot of challenges that come with it, but I am super lucky to be able to be home and raise my daughter and run our small farm while my husband works, you know, full-time off the farm to, of course, help to pay for the farm. You know, without his income, we would not have a farm, and I certainly would not have all these goats. So it's unlikely that I will miss her birth, simply because I definitely won't be leaving the farm once we hit, you know, the actual kidding watch. And once that begins, I will be glued to the house. And if I miss it, it will only be because I am asleep. So hopefully that doesn't happen, and I'm going to be doing regular barn checks. And of course I can, you know, wake up as many times as I need to in the middle of the night and check the camera, so that really helps. And you know, I'll be super disappointed if I can't film it for you guys. So ideally everything is going to go well, and she's not going to need assistance, and I won't need any of these things. She'll just have, you know, one or two healthy, strong kids without any assistance from me. But another really important thing to have in your kidding kit that is definitely already in my phone on speed dial is the number to our vet. So I do have our vet's number, and I've already spoken with them, and, you know, if I need them, if I have questions, I can always call our vet. Also, you guys, updated the whiteboard here finally, and if you saw my previous video on doing ultrasounds and the terrible disappointment that followed, you might remember this board used to look quite different. I haven't changed it since then. I finally got around to changing it. It's got burrs all over. You want to go out. I don't know, those bucks are out there, girls. See where they go. Straight out to pasture. Wide load coming through. Leaving the girls behind in the pasture for a second to go say hi to the boys. And Uhtred, of course. Well, he's one of the boys. One of the bro squad. See, got the does way over there. And here's the boys. Hey, boys. Hey, Stinky Buck. What you think, Uhtred? Hey, bud. And this guy is Image, and he is a buck that was bred to Finkel just recently, and he's owned by my mentor, and he'll be going back there shortly. And there's baby Detour being with the big boys, and Templeton, and Shady, and Stinky. And then that sweet pup right there, being a good boy with his goats. Good boy, Uhtred. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope that it was helpful to some of you who might be getting ready for kidding season, or even just researching what supplies you'll need for your first kidding season. I have been researching this for a long time, and you're gonna find, you know, lists all over the place as far as what do you need, what are necessities versus just convenience items or things that people like to have but you don't really need. I have found, as with anything, you know, you can get away with the bare minimum when you're talking about livestock, but there are certain things that I feel like not having would be too great of a risk, especially for someone as a beginner. So for me, those items being like the whelping pad, knowing that I have something that's going to allow those babies to regulate their body temperature and to stay the appropriate body temperature if they're not able to do that on their own, I think is really important. Because of my climate, having that heating pad, but also having the blow dryer in case I need to get those kids warm and dry as fast as possible if the weather takes a turn. The calcium gluconate to me is a must-have after, you know, talking with my mentor and doing research. That's something that I wouldn't be without. And then I would say, you know, things like towels and bottles and having multiple different types of nipples. If you don't have colostrum from another goat already, you know, stored in your freezer, then you should have some type of a colostrum gel or replacer. And I do have this multi-species colostrum gel. I don't intend on using it. However, I purchased it because I didn't know I was already going to have goat colostrum in my freezer. My mentor was kind enough to give me several things of colostrum from her goats. So now that I have those in the freezer, you know, obviously using goat colostrum straight from a goat is going to be a more appropriate thing to use in something like this. But if you don't have actual goat colostrum, then you do need to have something on hand. You might think, why would I need colostrum? I'm going to have the mom. Sometimes goats, you know, die during labor and they're not able to provide that colostrum for you, but you might still have a living kid who needs to get colostrum in them right away. So just something to think about that you should definitely have. I will be doing a separate video going over all the goodies I have in my goat medicine cabinet in the barn. But that's going to be, you know, a totally separate thing, and I will get into that at some point with you guys. As always, thank you guys for watching. I will see you in the next video. If you're not already subscribed, if you're interested in Nigerian dwarf goats and showing goats and milking goats and doing milk testing, any of that, make sure you hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you get notified when I post new videos. And leave me a comment down below. Let me know who you are. what you're doing. Are you dreaming of goats? Do you have goats? Do you show goats? Do you milk test? Are you interested in doing any of those things? Where are you in your goat obsession? Is it just starting? Has this been going on for a while? Are you already in a 12-step program? Leave me a comment down below. I love hearing from you guys, and I will see you in the next one. Bye. Done.